Tonight, with just hours to go before the crucial Super Delegates vote, NPP aspirants have been busy crisscrossing the country, meeting delegates in a desperate final push to have the upper hand ahead of tomorrow.
Has the qualification. Dr. Sofia Koto, he has the knowledge. He has the experience. 18 years.
Bawumia gives us a chance to change our branding.
Who I can say with my heart and my experience, if Alan is number one in the Super Delegates, it's a given.
Plus, all is set for the special electoral college, but concerns emerge over machinations by bigwigs in the party to favor some aspirants.
We are hoping to have a very successful special electoral college. And so let's look at the positives and let's do away with those nuances that do not have any foundation.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. And we are counting down to that Super Delegates conference tomorrow morning. And with just hours to go before that crucial vote, Joe News is learning that NPP aspirants and their surrogates tonight crisscrossing the country, very busy, meeting delegates in a desperate final push to have the upper hand ahead of tomorrow. 955 delegates are expected to cast their ballots in 17 voting centers across the country, with the Electoral Commission entrusted with the responsibility to conduct the polls. Already, there are concerns of machinations to ensure the results tilt in favor of some of the aspirants. Political scientist and former national chairman aspirant of the NPP, Dr. Amakuba, has been speaking about this.
This is not the main event. This is the event before the event. But they are working very hard so that they can come up with the agenda and say, look at here. This man is very, very, very popular. So we see it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because those who are voting for this period will not be the same ones who vote in the general election. Their outlook is very different. The so-called super delegates. How many? It's the MP, CEOs. These are people on the higher level of the economic system in Ghana. So their outlook is different. So we should not use their outlook as the general outlook of the population. It isn't right. People need money. So the MPs need money. They've been given money, so they go along. This is what is going on.
So you're anticipating that Dr. Bawumia may probably win by a margin?
It's a done deal. He will win. But whether he will win by that large margin, I don't know. But I have said, even if the margin is 95, we will not agree because it's against the Constitution. We will still demand the runoff, the final run. That is, their agenda is to use this as an excuse to let him go on a post. We will not agree to that. The party does not belong to him. Look at this situation. This man was not even a member of NPP. It's Nanado who brought him in.
Well, the Director of Elections for the NPP, Evans Nemako, is insisting the party is committed to free and fair elections tomorrow.
We are not aware of any campaign. The delegates for this special electoral college are senior members of this party. We are looking at members of parliament, we are looking at sector ministers, we are looking at regional ministers, we are looking at external branch delegates, wings delegates, National Council members, National Executive Committee members, founding members, National Council of Elders, who have the clout, the influence to put together all these delegates as a way of campaigning them to influence their voting pattern. At this point, we want us to look at the positives of the whole exercise. We've had a very, as I said, very constructive engagement with aspirants. We are hoping to have a very successful special electoral college. And so let's look at the positives and let's do away with those nuances that do not have any foundation.
And I want to bring in the key individuals in the camps of the two front runners. Coordinator for the Bawumia campaign, Sami Ewuku, is on the line with me. Hello, Sami. Thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you very much for having me.
Also joining us is Yababia Samoa. He speaks for the Alan camp. Yao, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Sam, you know what they say, last days are dangerous. What are you doing today, tonight, in the lead up to tomorrow?
Let me say a very good evening to your cherished listeners. Well, I mean, and good evening to my very senior friend and brother, Yao Samoa. I think these last days, these last minutes, for any close watcher of polls and every politician, there's a time that you have to make sure that all your I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed in terms of reaching out to voters the very last minute, making sure that your agents are also in place and in position, making sure that whatever that you train them to be on the lookout for, you're doing that. Also, your coordinators across the country, you're also testing the pulse of the delegates and the nation. So basically, that's what we've been up to today. And also some last minute reaching out to some delegates and their voters that you believe it has become a necessity for you to do that. So basically, that's what we have been up to, and making sure that our preparations in terms of our coalition, in terms of looking out for every minute detail that we might have glossed over, you are taking a key look at it.
I know yesterday your main lead vice president was in Kumasi meeting up with delegates. Today, I understand he's also been meeting more delegates in the Greater Accra region. How important are these last-minute meetings?
Well, yesterday we engaged the delegates in the Bono region in the morning, and we engaged the delegates in the Ashanti region in the evening. And then we were down to Accra this morning for him to also touch base with our external branches, who also form a huge voting block at the party headquarters, because they have about 80 votes from the party's external branches. So he's been meeting up with them to also be selling his message of hope, his new vision for the party and the country. And so far, it's been amazing. We are very confident that tomorrow's polls, which is very representative of the party, the more questions about representation, the entire 30 million plus of Ghanaians are represented by just about 275 members of parliament. Tomorrow, we expect that those who represent our 275 plus 1, that's the South constituency, so 276 constituencies will be represented in the ballot as they indicate which direction our party should go. The others of our party will also be represented in the ballot box. So we also have that of our regional party executives who also cast their votes to determine which direction we should go. Our members of parliament will also be voting. Ministers of state, the former president, the current president, Trump. And all these categories of people, those that we are accepting, delegates who determine a way for our party.
And stay with me. Have you also been meeting delegates in these final moments?
Thank you very much, Evan, for having me. It's very important that I begin by commending the aspirant representatives in the Presidential Election Committee who have been working so hard together to ensure that delegates vote in an environment that's conducive to freedom of expression. You will notice that there's been release of a protocol which reinforces the guidelines. The protocol that was released on the 24th of August reinforces the guidelines that were earlier put together by the committee, working in concert with aspirant representatives, the Electoral Commission, and the police. So the bottom line is that their object has been to ensure that there's no intimidation, there's no inducement, and that delegates are free to cast their votes fairly and provide a choice that is truly reflective of the desires of Ghana in terms of who the NPP brings to them. And so, as we speak, I believe this election, as designed by the various stakeholders I've mentioned, offers complete freedom of conscience, provided delegates will take advantage of it. And I'm sure that having noticed the way the committee has gone, many delegates across the country are advising themselves that they have the freedom of choice and that their duty which is to represent their party in the best light, will be carried out in all fairness tomorrow.
There have been a fair bit of complaints and concerns that your camp had raised in the lead up to the polls tomorrow. As we stand tonight, are you satisfied that all the issues you had raised along the line on this journey have been dealt with satisfactorily?
Satisfied is a strong word, because you have the paperwork and then you have the implementation. We believe that the paperwork is splendid so far. The meeting of minds on what is needed is splendid. So now we are all poised for the implementation, and the devil is in the detail when it comes to implementation. But like I'm saying, now the field is open. Even the NPP, I believe many have already made up their minds. But the important thing is that their duty to deliver a credible candidate who can win again for the NPP, considering mountains ahead of us in terms of even the 8-year alternation and the desire to continue in spite of that. You will realize that it's not an easy decision to make, but that decision really depends on what Ghanaians expect. And as we speak, many delegates are aware that Ghanaians expect Mr. Chematin to in order to deliver that cutting-edge approach to transformation that he has proposed. So we are comfortable that Mr. Chematin will deliver an extremely strong showing. And we are very confident that delegates, knowing what Ghanaians expect, will follow through, because the environment has been created by the work of the committee, acting in concert with the representatives of the aspirants. So now every delegate everywhere in Ghana is free to think through their choices and to make that choice, because it's a secret choice and it will reflect properly in the counting. It will not be influenced in any way by any outsider.
We just heard from Samuel Uku talking to us about what Bawumia is doing in these final moments, meeting with delegates yesterday and continuing today. How is Alan Chematin spending these last moments ahead of tomorrow?
He spent the whole week very productively, and it's work, the outputs of which we'll show tomorrow. It's been very, very good work over the past week.
Has he been meeting delegates, a final touching base with them again before tomorrow?
Yes, we've done everything necessary to put the infrastructure of a solid election in place. Everything necessary. And one of the outcomes is the fact that we've engaged so fruitfully with the Presidential Elections Committee. All the other things we are supposed to do to show up and to deliver a strong outcome, we have done.
You talk about strong outcomes. Samuel Uku,
your call has been put on hold.
You also have Samuel Uku on the line.
Strong outcome for us.
Put on hold. Please wait.
Apologies there. We just had the connection to Samuel Uku, may have just been lost there. But I still have you on the line.
Yeah.
You're talking about a strong showing. What does that mean in reality? Hello, Yababi Asama.
Hello.
Strong showing. What does it mean? Are you first?
Well,
are you second? Are you
it means
in the top five?
This is an administrative process. We are electing 5 people, or we are selecting 5 people, but we are not putting it beyond the delegates to select Alan as the main person. We are not putting it beyond them at all. So a strong showing means that clearly we are part of the 5. We are favorites as part of the 5. But beyond that, though we are not really, it's not about a ranking. This election is an administrative process. It's not about a ranking, but we will not be surprised at all if Alan is in pole position.
Okay. Samuel Uku,
yes.
Will you be more categorical there? He says, it's about the top 5. Where do you position?
Dr. Bawumia is expected to make a strong showing. He's expected to win tomorrow's polls. We have worked so hard. We have canvassed for the vote. We have so far visited 154 constituencies out of the 276. He has interacted He has interacted with delegates in excess of 128,000 of them out of the 205,000 expected to vote even in November. Now, he's also interacted with the super delegates across the 16 regions. He's done it on 2 occasions. One before he picked nomination forms, and 2 within the last 5 to 6 days, where he's crisscrossed the country. So we are not looking at making a strong showing. We are looking at winning, and winning convincingly tomorrow, to give a clear indication that when you have the grassroots of the party agreeing with the super delegates of the party, that means that candidate is not an established candidate, but then that candidate is a consensus candidate. And it just reminds me of the biblical position. When humanity meets divinity, you have Jesus Christ, who was a product of just the human form and the divine form. So tomorrow we go into the polls very confident from the Simba Umia side that we have worked hard, we have sold our campaign message well, we have sold our candidates to the delegates. We have also made a compelling argument why Dr. Baumia will be our best bet for 2024. And so, yes, if you ask me, that's what I would say. But let me also use this opportunity, just a minute of it, to correct a very sad impression created by the very venerable political scientist, Dr. Richard Amwakoba, saying that we don't know him in the party. It was Nana Akufo-Addo brought him into the party. I mean, such comments are not helpful. And I don't think that is something we need to encourage. The man has been your running mate for 4 terms, totaling almost 16 years. The person has been your vice president for 2 terms. So if you don't know him, then that is a tragedy. Again, I wasn't there when the party was founded. I was virtually maybe in Pampers in the very early days of the NPP. But today, you cannot discount my contribution when it comes to my support and my hard work that was also displayed in the party's victory in 2016 and 2020. So I think that the party is a living organism. You continue to have people joining. You continue to have even people even passing on to glory. A party that does not welcome even new people becomes a dead party. And examples abound. So I believe that our language, the language that we even exchange between and amongst ourselves is leading to this August 25th and November 4th is something that we have to be very careful about, because it will have a huge impact as to what to expect in 2020. Our opponents are watching, they are listening, and you don't have to define your party in a negative way to your opponent. I may be young as compared to Dr. Amwakoba, but I think that the young can also sometimes advise the elderly.
And Amwakoba will join us pretty shortly. But you made the point about he's winning this. Dr. Baumia is winning this.
Yes.
Do you have a percentage number in mind?
Well, we worked hard. I believe that if my calculations are anything to go by, I'm praying, I'm working hard towards a 70% win for Dr. Baumia.
Yeah, but why isn't your camp as confident as that?
I don't have to be, because it's not the main election. We are confident we are winning November 4th hands down with a wide margin. But for those who feel that they want to do political transfer of favor through this election, it's a fact. And perhaps that's what Amwakoba is trying to say and hasn't put it too well.
Transfer of favor.
It's a fact that political favor is not that easily transferable. What happened with Nanado in 2014
what do you mean?
is not going to happen now, because it is not Nanado. And that section will not automatically transfer to the establishment candidate because he is with Nanado. The fact of the matter is that it's a new circumstance. After 16 years, this party wants a new dynamic. And that dynamic is a change of leadership that reflects a new ethos, the ethos of responding to the solutions Ghana needs now. Bring somebody who will create frameworks which give us opportunity to expand our spaces, jobs, etc. And therefore, we believe that this poll about 70%, and of course everybody knows it's fake anyway. This UK-based research thing is fake. It doesn't work. So it's not about me being confident of winning or not, because the essence of this election is not about being first. The essence of this election is about getting 5 people who will be presented to the larger group who really determine who becomes president.
But surely, it definitely matters if you win, but you win topping the 5. That definitely will mean a lot going into November, does it not?
And they are going to do the bidding of the community. The community is saying, we expect an Alan Chematin to bring Chematin. If NPP brings Chematin, we will vote for him. That is the mantra in the street. And that is what the party will respond to on November 4th. Tomorrow, you don't have to be first. But like I'm saying, I won't even be surprised if we are first.
Well, what I'm saying, the history, you mentioned 2014. The president now scored a significant win there. 78. He scored a significant win there. And then he goes into
my
the
good
next
friend
round.
Samuel Ku and his
even more
other speakers say that in 2014, then candidate Akufo-Addo, now His Excellency the President, made 94%. And they've used the percentages 94% to describe what will happen now
in the main
on a slick transfer of political favor from Nana to his vice president, trying to equate Nana's feat then. But what they forget is that it was built on the party's determination to ensure Nana became president at all costs before anybody else, because the party had determined that a true so it. And therefore, until he became president, nobody else would. That is what those percentages reflect.
Is that why I see on the Alan billboards a Drew also?
After 16 years, the party will change faces. Nana is no more in the race. So what happened in 2014 has no parallel to what is going to happen tomorrow. Whoever wins tomorrow doesn't mean the president is going to win 4 necessarily. It means 5 people are going to be put before November 4. And what November 4 says is the real deal. That is the true election.
Okay. And Sami, isn't that important that this transfer of favor he talks about, it doesn't automatically mean that what happened in 2014, where Nana scored a significant number, 78% to the first round and 94% in the next round, will translate to what might happen tomorrow?
From President Akufo-Addo. I'm not too sure what the former member of parliament for New Durban South, the Honorable Dr. Marcus Ibeyebo, has gotten in terms of favor. I'm not too sure what James, who is to be MP, one of also the avowed critics of the current president. I'm not too sure of all these calculations from my senior brother Yabo Abiasamoah. But, the attempt to even water down the super delegate elections, it's a bit strange. Why? Because those who are voting tomorrow are those who are more or less the leaders of the various groupings and sectors within the party. So I would be surprised that you do not make a good showing and do not win tomorrow, and also expect that the party somehow will let you win. But that notwithstanding, we have campaigned on the strength of Dr. Baumia's credentials and what he brings to the table. And again, I'm surprised that my senior colleague did indicate that the party had then determined that Nanado became president, else no one. I'm not too sure where that determination came from, because Nanado went through the processes. And in fact, in 2014, the managers of even the party architecture at that time was Chairman Paul Afoko and Kwabena Ejepong. In the run-up to the national officers' elections, these two were not even seen, let me use the words well, were not even seen as favorites of the then Akufo-Addo, who was not even a candidate at that time. But they supervised the processes that Nana Akufo-Addo emerged. So at which point in time did the Afoko administration, together with Engineer Kwabena Ejepong and the rest of us, sat down to determine that Nana Akufo-Addo must become the candidate at all costs, or nobody else? So I'm not too sure. Maybe why do you have to educate me further?
Well, Samuel, thank you very much. Yababiasama, grateful also. Tomorrow, the Special Electoral College will speak, and then everybody will see their smoothness level, as they say. Let me bring in Professor Amwakoba into the conversation now. He himself a political scientist, but one time an aspirant to be a national chairman for the party, joins us right now. You watch this, Phil. This is a party that you once attempted to lead as his national chairman. Ahead of tomorrow, though, you really believe that the field is level to give everybody an equal chance of winning this and placing in the top 5? Hello, Dr. Makoba. Okay, we may have lost him there, but you're live here on Top Stories on Joy 99.7 FM. And tomorrow you want to join our coverage because we are going to be all over this for you from 7 a.m. In fact, tonight we start with our Election Eve special, and it is one that you do not want to miss. It is going to be one anchored on analysis, deep analysis of what we know, what the history tells us, and what we believe will be the case tomorrow.
In a political party at a crossroads where destiny hangs in the balance, the stage is set for a showdown of epic proportions. 10 contenders, 5 slots. Who will rise to claim the throne and secure their place in the final 5 with a chance to be the NPP flag bearer? Get ready for a political battle like you've never seen before. The clock is ticking and every move matters. On Saturday, 26th August, all shall be reviewed, and your election headquarters will make sure you miss nothing. Join the best political team on radio, TV, and online from 7 a.m. for the most comprehensive coverage of the NPP Super Delegates Conference, only on your election headquarters.
Well, Dr. Makoba joins us right now, a political scientist, one time attempted to lead the NPP as his chairman, joins us on the line. You believe there's a level playing field now in tomorrow's poll, despite all the concerns expressed before, will be free and fair?
Well, that part, I think it would be, but it depends on what free and fair means. If the bet is already stuck before you start, what is free and fair? That's the problem. People have different agendas going into this election. You see, this is not an election to pick a winner. It's an election to reduce the numbers. That's it. So all those people who are behaving as if they're campaigning to pick a winner, they have their own agenda. That's why they are doing that. You see, it has come up, and it was said by Osteche Tabus, who everybody knows supports Bawumia. He said, if the polls are over, they count the numbers, and the candidate gets more than 70% of the votes, then the party should consider making that candidate the automatic overall candidate for the general election and make him unopposed. That's what he said. So that's why they are fighting so hard to make people vote overwhelmingly for him so they can make that declaration. But I can tell you, it's not going to work because we will not agree. That's not the rules. We put the rules aside one time and did something we shouldn't have done. Admitted a candidate who was not part of the party, and this is where we are now. Everybody knows that. It's a bad deal. We shouldn't do it again. So we are not going to do it. If we have to go to court, that's what we'll do.
I see the stage is set really for tomorrow. Dr. Makoba, thank you very much. You want to stay with us because tonight from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. we'll come your way live with Election Eve special programming, exclusive analysis, building up into tomorrow's 7 a.m. On the Joy News channel as well. So 8 p.m. tonight is going to be across our social media platforms. It's going to be here live on the Joy 99.7 FM, also on myjoyonline.com. We're going to delve deeper into all the aspirants, their chances, their history, the trends, and how they performed in previous elections, the numbers game, but also help you make some predictions and understand the context so that when you join us from tomorrow at 7 a.m. as we begin our live coverage, voting starts at 9, but we start at 7. You want to join us. This is your election headquarters, and this is where you get the most comprehensive coverage of the NPP's Special Electoral College